I'm a professionally certified wine expert, and one evening I had a customer return an extremely expensive bottle of aged red wine. He was visibly annoyed and made sure everyone at his table, including his date, could hear him complain. He claimed the wine was defective because there was sediment at the bottom of the bottle. According to him, all quality wine should be perfectly clear, and anything else was unacceptable. I calmly explained that sediment is completely normal in older, unfiltered wines and is often a sign of quality and age. Before I could finish, he cut me off, stared straight at me, and said, "I think I understand luxury a little better than the help." He then sent the bottle back and proudly ordered the cheapest house Merlot, with a screw cap. I work as a lifeguard at a public swimming pool. One afternoon, a father approached my stand and told me I was testing the water incorrectly. He explained, very confidently, that the pool water was too blue, which meant it had excessive oxygen levels. According to him, high oxygen water was dangerous and his son shouldn't be swimming in it. I tried to explain that the blue color comes from the pool liner and reflections, and that water is literally made of oxygen and hydrogen. He told me I needed to go back to chemistry class, grabbed his kid, and stormed out, convinced he'd just saved his child from science. I'm a graphic designer, and a client once sent me a tiny, pixelated image, about 100 pixels wide, and asked me to print it on a massive roadside billboard. I explained that enlarging the image would make it look like a blurry grid of squares, because the resolution simply didn't exist. He laughed and told me to stop being difficult. "Just zoom in and hit the enhance button like they do on TV," he said. "Don't be lazy." He eventually fired me for being technically incompetent, and presumably found someone else willing to print a giant blur for him. My father is an electrician with 4 decades of hands-on experience. At a family barbecue, my uncle, who works as an accountant, began explaining electricity to him. He confidently stated that electricity flows through the plastic insulation around wires, not the copper inside. According to his theory, the copper was only there to keep the plastic from bending too much. My dad didn't argue, he just quietly sipped his beer. Later that evening, we found my uncle attempting to repair a severed extension cord using Scotch tape. I repair musical instruments for a living. One day, a customer brought in a violin and asked me to restring it with guitar strings because he wanted it to sound deeper, more like a cello. I explained that guitar strings use far more tension and would very likely snap the violin's neck clean in half. He rolled his eyes and accused me of trying to upsell him on overpriced violin strings. "Wood is wood," he said confidently. He took the instrument home, did it himself, and returned 3 days later holding a violin broken cleanly into 2 pieces. I'm a history professor specializing in World War II. At a dinner party, someone began explaining that the war didn't start because of invasions or geopolitics, but because of pineapple trade tariffs. I gently mentioned the invasion of Poland and international tensions. He waved me off and said schools only teach propaganda. "I listen to podcasts," he said proudly. "I know the real story." He then lectured me for 20 uninterrupted minutes about pineapples. I work at a zoo in the reptile house. A visitor started pounding on the glass of the Komodo dragon enclosure, clearly stressing the animal. When I asked him to stop, he confidently told me it was fine because lizards are deaf. I explained that reptiles can absolutely hear vibrations and sound. He scoffed and said, "I've owned a gecko for 2 weeks. I think I know more than you. They don't even have ears." Security escorted him out while he shouted that I was anti-science. I'm a civil engineer. While inspecting a home renovation, I noticed the homeowner had removed a massive wooden column from the middle of the living room. When I told him that column was load-bearing and holding up the roof, he laughed. "I knocked on it," he said. "It sounded solid. Load-bearing walls are hollow for wires." We evacuated the house immediately. By the next day, the roof had visibly sagged. I'm a commercial airline pilot. While waiting at the gate in uniform, a passenger struck up a conversation and asked about our flight path. When I explained the route, he shook his head and said it was inefficient. He suggested we fly much higher, basically in space, to eliminate air resistance and save fuel. I explained that planes require air flowing over the wings to generate lift. He smiled pityingly and said, "That's cute, but engines push planes forward. Wings don't matter." I'm a mechanic. A customer brought in a diesel truck that wouldn't start. When I opened the hood, it smelled strongly like old cooking oil. I asked if he had put vegetable oil in the tank. He proudly said yes, fryer oil, because he read online that diesel engines can run on anything. I explained that while it's technically possible with heavy modifications, his engine was ruined. He accused me of being part of a big oil conspiracy. The engine was completely seized. I work in IT support. One day, a very upset employee called saying her desktop computer was leaking data. She sounded panicked and insisted something was seriously wrong. I asked her to explain what she meant. She said liquid was dripping out of the back of the computer tower. When I went to her desk, I immediately noticed an open bottle of water tipped over next to the machine. The water had clearly spilled directly into the cooling fan and was now dripping out the back. I told her she had spilled water into the computer. She denied it completely and said, "No, that's impossible. I downloaded too many large files. The hard drive is overflowing." She then asked when IT was planning to empty the internet storage. I'm a professional Japanese to English translator. I translated an important document for a client and sent it over. He sent it back with corrections. Every sentence I had carefully written was replaced with awkward, broken phrases that barely resembled English. I recognized it immediately. Google Translate. I explained that his changes were inaccurate and removed nuance and proper grammar. He dismissed me and said, "Google is a billion-dollar company. I trust their computer more than one human." He published the document with the errors. Native speakers later told him it was completely unreadable. I work as a baker. One morning, a woman came in demanding a gluten-free croissant. I explained that croissants require gluten. It's what creates the flaky layers and structure. Without it, the pastry simply wouldn't exist. She became angry and insisted gluten was just a preservative that could be removed if I used fresher ingredients. She refused to believe gluten is a protein found naturally in wheat. She left a 1-star review accusing us of poisoning customers with preservatives. I'm a botanist volunteering at a community garden. One day, I noticed a woman pouring sports drink all over her tomato plants. I gently suggested she use water instead. She looked at me like I was an idiot and said, "It has electrolytes. Plants need energy." She claimed water was empty calories, and insisted science backed her up. I briefly wondered if she was joking, but she was completely serious. Her plants were dead within a week from the sugar and acid. I work as a scuba diving instructor. During a lesson, one student tried to attach his oxygen tank upside down. When I corrected him, he argued that flipping it upside down would help the air flow downward into the hose because of gravity. I explained that compressed air doesn't work like that and gravity has nothing to do with it. He crossed his arms and said, "You might know diving, but you clearly don't understand Newton." He was not allowed in the water until he fixed it. I'm a tailor. A man brought in an expensive suit that was several sizes too large and asked me to shrink it by boiling it in hot water. I explained that boiling would completely destroy the fabric, lining, and structure of the suit. He insisted wool shrinks in the wash and said everyone knows that. I refused. He took the suit home, boiled it himself, and returned the next day with a felted, misshapen, child-sized disaster. He demanded a refund because I had given him bad advice. I'm a dentist. A patient came in with severe gum disease and bone loss. When I asked about flossing, he proudly said he never flosses. According to him, flossing creates gaps between teeth, letting bacteria in. He believed plaque was a protective seal that kept his teeth safe. I showed him X-rays of bone loss. He said that was just teeth, settling with age, and accused dentists of inventing floss to make money. He lost 3 teeth that year. I work at an art supply store. A customer came in asking for primary colors and picked up orange, green, and purple paint. I politely told her the primary colors are red, blue, and yellow, and that the ones she chose were secondary colors. She laughed and said, "Primary means important. These are the prettiest colors, so they're primary." She tried mixing them to create black and returned furious when the result was brown. I'm a veterinarian. A woman brought in her severely underweight cat and proudly explained she was feeding it a vegan diet. She believed cats are spiritual beings who don't want to kill animals. I explained that cats are obligate carnivores and need nutrients like taurine found only in meat. She accused me of being paid by the meat industry. The cat was dangerously malnourished. Animal control had to step in to save it. I'm a geology major giving tours in a cave system. While explaining that a stalactite had taken thousands of years to form, a tourist interrupted me. He claimed the formations were fake, installed by the Park Service using plastic foam. He said he'd seen a truck delivering them. I tapped the rock with my flashlight to show it was solid stone. He insisted it was hardened plastic, and said the Earth is only 6,000 years old anyway. "You can't fool me," he said proudly. I'm a math teacher. While grading a test, I marked an answer wrong where a student wrote that 2 + 2 = 5. A few days later, the student's father demanded a meeting. He sat across from me and confidently explained that in the modern business world, numbers are flexible. According to him, in environments of synergy and innovation, 2 + 2 can equal 5. I told him this was an arithmetic class, not a motivational seminar. He complained to the principal that I was limiting his son's visionary thinking and demanded the grade be changed to an A. I work in a pharmacy. A man picked up antibiotics and I gave the standard instructions. 1 pill every 8 hours until finished. He glanced at the bottle and said he didn't have time for that because he was traveling soon. His solution was to take all 3 daily pills at once every morning. I explained the medication needs to stay in his bloodstream consistently. He winked and said, "It all goes to the same stomach. It mixes." He was not joking. I'm a professional photographer. During an outdoor wedding ceremony at noon on a bright sunny day, the groom asked why I wasn't using flash. I explained natural light was more than enough and flash would cause harsh shadows. He took my camera, popped the flash open, and explained that flash freezes motion, otherwise people would look blurry. He insisted I use it. Every photo came out washed out and awful. He later complained about the quality. I'm a software engineer. A project manager once asked me to add a button that predicts what a user wants to buy before they search for it. I explained that would require advanced artificial intelligence and massive datasets we didn't have. He said I was overthinking it and told me to just make it random but lucky. When I said a luck-based algorithm doesn't exist, he wrote me up for having a negative attitude and blocking innovation. I work at a gym as a personal trainer. A new client told me he only trains his right arm. His reasoning was that the heart is on the left side, so the left arm naturally gets more blood flow. The right arm, according to him, needs extra work to balance things out. I tried explaining circulation, but he put his headphones back on and continued curling with one arm. It looked exactly as ridiculous as you're imagining. I'm an archivist at a library. A patron was furious we didn't have a certain book. I checked the system and explained it was checked out. She said that was impossible because she had already looked on the shelf. Therefore, we must be hiding it in the back. She claimed it contained government secrets and we were suppressing the truth. The book was a generic romance novel. She refused to believe me. I'm an architect. A client wanted a window installed in a fully underground basement. I explained the view would just be soil. She told me to install mirrors inside the wall to reflect the outdoor scenery down into the basement. I explained that would require expensive optics and thick structural walls. She said I was complicating things and told me to just put a regular mirror in the hole because light bends. She eventually painted a fake window on the wall. I work at a high-end steakhouse. A customer ordered a very expensive Wagyu steak and demanded it be cooked well done. I suggested medium rare to preserve the flavor and texture. He said he didn't want to risk food poisoning. When the steak arrived gray and tough, he complained that it was dry and accused the chef of being unskilled, saying a good chef can make a well-done steak juicy. I'm a plumber. A woman called about a clogged toilet. I pulled out a massive clump of so-called flushable wipes. I explained they don't actually break down. She pointed to the packaging and said if it says flushable, it must be legal. She insisted the problem was my pipes, not her habits. Her basement smelled like sewage for a reason. I'm a geography teacher. A parent came in furious because I marked her son's map wrong. He had labeled Africa as a country. She told me Africa is just like America, with smaller areas inside called states. I showed her a map of multiple countries. She waved it away and said I was confusing her son with unnecessary details. She genuinely refused to accept that continents exist.